Welcome back, everyone, to OpenLine. Glad you are with us. We are talking about the eviction moratorium, where we stand on that, and also money that is available to people that are struggling paying their rent as a result of COVID relief. That's where the money is coming from. Have a panel with us. 3 people in this half hour, 3 people in the next half hour. They'll be talking more about Tennessee as a whole tonight, right now. Ann Louise Wortham, Administrative Office of the Courts, Judge Rachel Bell, and Lisa McCready with the Metro Action Commission. And Ann Louise Wortham, you wanted to talk about some resources, right, that are available.
Yes, I wanted to talk about some resources that are free, that are available to both landlords and tenants. For landlords, we have Tennessee has a free legal advice helpline called Help4TN. The number is 1-844-435-7486. If you have an old-fashioned phone, those last 7 digits spell Help4TN. But there you can talk to a lawyer. And this service is for landlords and tenants, but prior to the pandemic, most of the calls were coming from tenants. There has been a significant uptick in the number of calls that are coming from landlords. So it's a free legal resource. You'll get to talk to an attorney who'll be able to provide you with free legal advice. There's also a website where people can go to get help. It's called Tennessee Free Legal Answers. There are some income guidelines there, but again, it would be available to either landlords or tenants. But as long as there are some income guidelines to qualify for that. But you are able to email your questions to a lawyer. And then lastly, there's a website that's called, it's a chat bot. I know everybody's so used to doing things online now. It's called renterdefender.org. And it basically just asks you questions. You can type in your answer, or you can speak your answers, and the chatbot will funnel you through questions. So if you answer one question one way, then you'll get prompted to a next question. It's kind of just like other software helping you fill out forms and things of that nature. It is designed for renters, but we are encouraging landlords to use it too, because it talks about just the general rights and responsibilities of both landlords and tenants. So while it is designed, again, renterdefender.org, it will spit out a list of resources, things that you can do, actions you can take, things of that nature to just try to as Judge Bell said in the prior segment, to help you participate in what's happening and be an active participant in the an evictions case. And
as she also said, help get you off the cliff, off the at this critical time. All right, let's go to some calls here. Let's go to Mike. Hello, Mike.
Hey, good evening, Ben, and good evening to your guests. This is going to be real quick. First of all, $43 billion had been allocated from the CARES Act to help people from being evicted, and that included people with home mortgages as well. What I'm seeing is that certain states are doing this better, certain counties are doing this better, certain local municipalities are doing this better, depending on where you are. But one of the things that I don't understand is $43 billion is a lot of money. But by now, there are people have been waiting for this to be distributed that are already homeless. And there are some who are fearful of being homeless. And that right there is scary enough, thinking that next week or tomorrow you could be out of here. One of the good things Darren Hall did, our sheriff, is put a moratorium in place. He stopped eviction, but he stopped his deputies from going out, handing out eviction notices and putting them on people's doors. I wish he would do that again temporarily. Let Governor Lee challenge that in court, but for at least temporarily, he can stop his deputies from going out and issuing that. One last statement. It is imperative that you go to court. Do not miss your court date. If you have to write it on pieces of paper, put it inside your door. When you go out the front door, put it on front of your refrigerator. Do not miss your court date. That is very important. And all I can say, we need to do a better job. I think you guys are doing everything you can, but the system, the bureaucracy has to be reduced in some kind of way, because it's really desperate out there for a lot of people. And good luck to everybody involved in this matter.
Mike, thank you.
Good night.
Mike talking about what's at stake here. He says the bureaucracy needs to be lowered, money needs to get out faster. I guess, Lisa, what do you say to his call there?
Yeah, so we've been on countless calls throughout the nation about how Nashville was able to ramp its program up and get the money out faster, really, than most of the states here in the country. And so we attribute it to, again, the partnerships that we've had here. But some states really are struggling to understand and to, to get through all of the regulations that Treasury initially had, which was not intended to make the process tedious. But it did require some additional conversations. And so I think we're in probably change number 7 now. And so really states are trying to navigate that space. We don't have that issue here in Davidson County, fortunately. As I said earlier, we're completely out of our funding of the first pot of money. Many states are just starting, or they're trying to ramp up to get to the point to where they feel confident enough to be able to expand. Some are not doing the full 12 months in arrears. Some are doing only a month or two forward because as they're trying to fill this thing out. And so I think the overall concern is having missteps with this funding and having to pay that back. But again, here in Davidson County, we're not experiencing that, and been very fortunate to be able to talk with many programs with the U.S. Treasury, the Deputy Secretary, with the White House, with many states across this nation, and just how we've been able to manage this and how we've been able to get the funding out.
All right,
but it is
all right.
Really hard.
Let's go with.
If I could share.
Okay. Sure, Judge, go ahead. Hold on.
Yeah. I just wanted to share, what Ms. McCready just said. We have been actually now serving as a model across the country for how our court has partnered to have a diversionary court. It's unprecedented. It's first of its kind, and I believe it's one of the only ones, if not the only one, in the United States of America. We've also had opportunities to speak with the White House and the Executive Office of the President on how our model is one that should be potentially followed here across the United States of America. So I agree with Ms. McCready. Our court partnership with the disbursement of the funds has been phenomenal, and we're doing actually a great job with it. So we're happy about that.
Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to Corey. Are you there, Corey?
Yes.
Go right ahead.
Sir.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, they're handing out evictions like crazy here in Wilson County, and I don't understand why. Yes, sir. We haven't been late on rent once in 2.5 years. Okay, so in Wilson County, I understand what they're doing. We have court on September 9th over this month. That's it. And I just don't understand that.
Right.
I missed work 3 days because of COVID, because my wife thought she had it. And I don't know what to do.
Okay, so you have gotten an eviction notice, and you have to be in court later this month. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you're saying how far behind are you?
This month.
Just 1 month. Okay. All right, let's talk about it. Thank you for calling in, Corey. Thank you for sharing your story. All right, he is obviously in Wilson County. You all deal with Davidson County. We're going to talk about the state here as a whole in a moment. But let's say, and I'm gonna ask your question to our next group of guests, Corey. But let's say Corey is here in Davidson County. They've gotten an eviction notice. What advice do you have for Corey and people like Corey? And Judge, I guess.
So if I can lean in.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, first, court, don't miss court. And when you come to court, if this was in Davidson County, we've got the process in place. And I'm going to pass it back to Lisa because I think she was going to talk about our housing court navigators and what we do in the courthouse. But if you have a court date, you have a detainer warrant, as Ann Louisa said, as I've said, as even the caller, I think Michael called in a minute, do not miss court. Make sure you're there. Make sure you advocate. You're your best advocate. But I'll pass it back to Lisa. I think she has some information she'd like to share.
Okay.
What I would piggyback on is just this funding is available in every county in this state. And so THDA is the organization that covers Wilson County. I would just encourage you, like right now, go on to the THDA website. They have an online portal just like we do, and go ahead and start your application process immediately, inclusive of your detainer warrant information, so that they can be tracked, so that they can begin working with you on. Think that is the very next step, and I guess you're going to hear it probably a lot. Do not miss court. And we just hear that, that so much that people are missing court for various reasons, and you cannot do that. Right. But again, making sure that you're in the pipeline to get that housing help with your rent is key.
So Corey, THDA, that's Tennessee Housing Development Agency. We're going to have someone on with the Tennessee Housing Development Agency next. So hold tight, and we'll have more information for people outside of Davidson County. I believe we're going to move on from you all. We're grateful you were on. And Louise Wortham, do you want to wrap up here in about a minute or so? What do you want people to take away from this group?
From this group, I'm going to reiterate, go to court. Go to court. But if you're a nonprofit or you're a group that has interaction with individuals and families that are going through this, learn about the resources, use Metro Action Commission, use THDA, use the Renter Defender Help for TN. There's a lot of money, but also a lot of support for helping landlords and tenants right now. I think more so than we've ever seen before. So just take advantage of it and participate in the process.
All right. Thank you all for being here. We're going to come back with somebody from Legal Aid, somebody from Tennessee Housing Development Agency, and a professor of law. So we'll take a break, come back, continue taking calls and answering your questions right after this.